I was asked a while ago, what do I see as a problem in religious people, in most of them? Well, my quote back was that, see, anyone who is literally religious is not religious in the end, in most of the situations. Because religion is not about knowing each and every word, each and every fragment, each and every bit of your religious scribblings in any of the books that comprise your religion. And I sure hope religion has not become just that. Or maybe it became that as of late, and frustrations and lack of meaning and a lot of such things. Because in the end, there is a lot of misunderstanding. There is a lack of understanding, honestly. Because everything in each and every religion is granted like you're supposed to know it. It is granted as if it is the ultimate certainty, right? There is nothing that you can doubt about. And obviously, people, especially illiterate people, mentally unstable people, and also, let's not forget, people who are very primitive minded, they will easily embrace that as if it is the ultimate truth. This is what ultimately happened with the religions, that they got hijacked by these people in time. Because you have to understand, these religions were granted to the masses, and the masses have always been kept illiterate, so that the very few who rule, behind politics and the such, would have an easy time controlling people through their emotions and especially through their expectations. Yes? Because, see, in the end, knowing your religious writings, your scribblings, like by heart, is not going to improve your life necessarily. See, religion is all about reminding you that there is something beyond you, that there is creation. And many people seem to fail to understand that you do not pray to creation. Yes, this is something that most people like even fervently do, mainly because of the desperation in their life, of their loneliness, or especially the greatest pitfall of any religion, the expectations. See, in any such, um, let's say, spiritual path that you may pick, and I don't ever take religion as spirituality, they are two different things. See, religion is like a prison. You have everything given to you, and you're only allowed to do what that religion seeks and what that religion gives. What it seeks and what it gives will always be two different things. Because what it seeks, a religion seeks whatever its individuals seek. And sooner or later, each religion will be overwhelmed by numbers of people that become the majority, which won't care about that religion. They will care only what survival will fit. Yes, what the followers of that religion will give them. Yes, how those followers of that religion can be exploited so that they can gain some benefit. Yes, that's why you have all the wars, all the separations, all these, how I call them, agents of chaos. Yes, agents of entropy. So one has to understand, prayer does not mean beseeching creation. You're not in contact with creation necessarily when you pray. Yes, especially nowadays, many people end up praying mechanically. Yet again, because of frustrations, lack of meaning in their life, lack of objectives in their life. And they make their own religion, unfortunately, as an objective. Your only objective in this world should be your physical body, because you're gonna need it to experience this life. Your own energies, because without those, you're just gonna feel like a dead man walking, which unfortunately a lot of people already are. They're not knowledgeable of how to handle their emotions, their energy, and they're not respectful enough of themselves and their body. Because they sleep how many hours they sleep a day, so just so that they waste their energy with toxic people, with draining jobs, with draining anything, meanwhile supporting within their minds the idea that they cannot escape that idea. Yes, so it means their pains do not hurt them enough. Ain't religion gonna simply pull you out of that? Miracles can happen, yes, but miracles happen only when you happen to open yourself unconsciously to something, or it was simply karmically the time, or when you consciously open yourself to something. Because prayer means you're inviting something into your life. But the more miserable piece of shit you are, the more miserable you feel. Because you don't have to be a miserable piece of shit necessarily, like many people are. Yes, pains, lack of attention, lack of importance, lack of an objective, they all become sooner or later grief. And the grief is at the foundation of everything evil. Everything bad done in the world is done out of grief, more or less. Grief becomes hatred, grief becomes so many things. Yes? And it is that which slowly erodes your humanity. And once you have lost your humanity, you cannot call yourself religious. Yes? Religion is a simple form of spirituality because you cannot put people into advanced spirituality, into comprehending the fact that they are the ones supposed to do the things, not simply pray expecting that something will come to them and give them salvation. Yes? When you pray from a lower standpoint, yes, from a survival standpoint, you're going to invite something like that. And probably you're going to invite some demons or things like that. Religion doesn't tell you that there are so-called two Jesuses, right? There is also a demon called Jesus Emmanuel, as of what I read. And guess whom of the two Jesuses will come to you if you pray and you're just, a knowledgeable of religion, not a feeler of religion. Yes, religion is not about learning those scribblings by heart. Whatever happened in the past happened in the past. The world nowadays no longer has a Jesus or a Muhammad, and to be sure, the world doesn't necessarily need those. What about a new Jesus? What about you and everyone else seeking to become more spiritual again? Yes, more in tune with creation. Because being in tune with creation is nothing else than being in tune with your own morals as a human being. Yes, what you have as the principles of humanity, yes, are the ideas of these, how to put it, this is the pillar of humanity. Yes, your morality, that is the pillar of humanity. What you see as the commandments of Christianity, yes, the 10 commandments, those are nothing else but your own morality. Yes, that is what you should be following by heart, right? These are also presented somewhat similarly even in Islam and in other religious foundations as well. Yes, but the problem is a lot of people, especially literates, especially apathic people, yes, people who even shatter themselves from their emotions, separate themselves from their emotions, and choose to become emotionally numb. Yes, even these people can be or can call themselves religious. Yes, because they will simply learn everything by heart, but they will interpret everything by their sheer logic, and that's it. Religion is something that you have to feel, you have to welcome inside. Jesus is not someone that you have to know by heart what they did. Nobody cares about that. You welcome that energy into your life. Yes? Just like when you go to a temple and you feel overwhelmed by its vibration, you don't give a fuck about how many people died building that temple, how many people built that temple, how many people spent how much time to consecrate that temple. That doesn't matter anymore. Yes? The problem with churches and mosques and the such, they don't have this vibration anymore of allowing people to elevate themselves just by being around. You have the same old people doing their own same rituals and inviting you to pray, inviting you to do your religious chores and the such. And there's even specifically nowadays, it doesn't feel any magic anymore. Yes, because it doesn't feel that magic anymore. I said, times are changing, energies are elevating. Everything of the past will be forgotten, will be simply swept away, and people who don't want to give it up, well, certain things will happen to them, and, well, they will either give it up or, well, they will try to go back in the past with it. Yes, and they will become of the past. Yes. So, if we are to think a bit about things, religion is not about blindly following things. Religion is about inviting something greater within you. Yes? And how do you invite something greater within you? You elevate your vibration. Yes? Your whole life is about elevation. You elevate your mind. Yes? Seek more information, seek more knowledge to turn into wisdom. Yes? And to make use of it, to make something good with your life. Yes? And then elevate your emotions. Don't choose to be numb, because your emotions are just signals. Yes? They're just signals of your life. If they hurt because you're in a toxic environment, not because there's something wrong with you or that you'd be broken or something. Let all the fuckers live their miserable life. Remember one thing that I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not gonna stop telling it. There is no such thing as people lying. Yes? This is a truth that no religion will tell you. Because, especially nowadays, since they've been hijacked long since by narcissistic fuckers, and a lot of people end up saying that they're just sinners, they're just bad. This is just something horrible. Yes? You have not been born a sinner. You have not been born bad. Yes? These are the frustrations of people of the past who thought that the only thing they can feel in life is pain, so they envisioned even religion as being a whole fucking pain. Religion is just about a set of books and a main book that gives you some teachings. Get all those teachings, get the wisdom that you need out of that, and that's it. All the stories about those people, just take the virtues out of those and leave the fuck everything else behind. You're never gonna be a religious person if you just learn everything by heart. Yes, learning all of those things by heart, maybe it fulfills your mind and you feel that it will fulfill the veracity of your mind, but it will not. It will not cover that emotional lack that you have. Yes, the lack that you have from, let's say, some of your parents passing away when you were young. Yes, or from all of the things you disallowed yourself from doing in life. It's not gonna clean your depression. It's not gonna clean many of your things. Maybe it will distract you from them and give you for short the impression that it did that. But I assure you it's not gonna do that forever. Because everything you hold dear to you sooner or later will fade away. And then you will start waking up to life and realizing how beautiful it is when you start opening those beautiful eyes of yours. And you start seeing beyond the illusions that once allowed you to survive mentally and emotionally. But things like that won't keep you safe forever. Yes? Once their purpose for survival is done, they only become like coffins, and you're like pretending to be a vampire that sleeps within them. Yes? It won't change anything, it won't bring any salvation. Yes? Why not seek to become wiser and holier in life than even most of the priests, imams, and the such? Yes? Many of those people are just other people who seek to survive. They liked something about it. They have a salary and they just work that job. But the spark within it is long gone. But they're still doing their own part. Yes? There is something a bit holy in it. There are a lot who just exploit that power and do a lot of misdeeds, being a horrible diplomat or a horrible ambassador of their own job. Yes? What if you choose to become, through either religion or through spiritual practices, holier than most of the people on this planet? Let's say that you achieve to become holier than Christ himself. Yes? A lot of people will shun you away, and obviously, probably they will even crucify you like they did with the Jesus of the older times. Yes? But the very simple point is, if you even become holier than Jesus himself, for believe me, it is very possible. Yes? It will take probably lifetimes for some people. But believe me, it is very possible. Yes? If you achieve that level, yes, do you think Jesus will feel bad for you? Do you think he will feel envious? Or do you think he will just invite you just like he would invite anyone else beside him? Yes? This is a question that you should take into account. Because the problem is with religions, they have become too much of a piece of meaning. And they have become too much of a lack of meaning also. Yes? They are just like a perfect mental prison, which you do not see. It is finite, and once you know everything about it, suddenly you feel void. Yes? You now know every single bit about it, you know all your surahs, all your verses, all your whatever, and it still feels like a void. You're trying to keep that void silent. Yes? Because you're still thinking that it gives you some kind of stability. Only by feeling that will give you a certain stability. Yes? By becoming whole within yourself. Yes? Even when you look at the Christian religion, yes, a lot of people cannot comprehend the idea of God being three people. Yes, this is yet another proof of how idiotic people are, how simplistically they see things, and how surface value they take things. Yes, how can you know creation is three different beings when you don't even know what creation is and what creation looks like? You can call them God, you can attribute them a big human form, and that's it, but creation is way beyond that. Yes? What you see, look at the wisdom of Christianity. What the wisdom of Christianity speaks to you about God or creation being threefold is basically nothing else but a higher version of you, you little dum-dum. Yes? Because you have creation as intuition. You have creation as physicality. Jesus, who walked the earth, yes? Which is you, you dum-dum. And obviously you have creation as the ultimate, the Father, which is the one that created the cosmos. And religion should only be a confluence of these three little parts. Your emotions, yes, the connection with divinity. Your physical body, because, you're the one walking this earth just like Jesus did, yes? And then you have also your intuition, yes? A part of you, another higher part of you, and your unconsciousness as well, yes? The Holy Spirit. These are the embodiments that you should think about, yes? Because when you take things literally, it is obviously easy to simply fall for those. Because taking things literally only means you're feeding your logics things to fight against. Yes, because your whole life you've been taught to fight against everything. It's all survival. Survival means fighting against something. The more narcissistic you become, you get a feeling that you have to fight against everyone and everything. Yes? So that is the problem. If you look at Christianity's wisdom, you have to go way further than just what is written plainly in texts. Because even Jesus' birth, yes, even his, the three magi, yes, nothing of those is specifically like that. Those were written in such a way, or probably misinterpreted, but the wisdom goes very deep, yes. The three magi, the stars, they are representatives of your own physical body and things that happen with your hormones. Yes? The birth of Jesus, the three magi that go through following a star. Where have you ever seen a star that simply doesn't move? Yes? Or actually moves, guiding people. Yes? And being much closer to the surface. Yes? That was not a star. Yes? That was something, a force guiding those. And the people presented it as a star just for the illiterate masses to take as a comparison. Yes? And with people becoming more and more illiterate, more and more ignorant, they took things just as a surface value. Yes? Those three magi are representative of three substances very important to your body that are, well, doing their own part. Yes? The star guiding them is yet another aspect of your body. Yes? It is yet another hormone of your body. Yes? And then the birth of Jesus. Yes, he lived 33 years. Yes, Jesus went through life for 33 years. Yes, something very important is created in your head, and it goes down through your spine, through each and every one of your 33 vertebrae, till it reaches the bottom where your survival is. Yes, that is the journey of Jesus. And there he becomes one with creation, because if you allow that bit of substance to reach your bottom of the spine without releasing that energy on anger, without releasing it through sexual cravings, you will experience something phenomenal. Yes? If you allow that to happen for the course of one single day, especially during full moon, especially during new moon, it will allow you in time to build something, a great foundation. Why did many great sages say, in order to have a family, just make sure you don't experience sexual frustrations and you don't release your semen for at least 2 years? Yes? If you allow 2 full cycles to go through your life without releasing that, you will see how much potential you can unleash in your life. Yes? So even the king who wanted to kill all the children just to make sure that Jesus will not reach maturity, that is nothing else but an embodiment of your own physical cravings, your own limitations, seeking to keep you stuck and bound to them. Yes? So don't take things too literally, because you don't know what potential you are losing. It is, unfortunately, a good prison to live in how religions are, literally, because everything is given to you. Yes, there is no uncertainty apparently. And if you learn everything by heart, you feel elevated. Yes, but you miss on so much more potential about your life. And many people have experienced that. They have learned everything they can about the religion, but they still feel a void because they feel that void. Because religion, literally, it does not fill the void that you have in your life, the void of bad parenting, the void of toxic environments, of toxic people dumping their energy on you, of the bad relationships you've had. Yes, religion can be a good distraction. Yes, but if you allow you to feel things and invite certain forces into your life, well, you'll always invite forces through your life. But if you pray ignorantly, you will invite lower energies into your life that can cause even some damage. But many people are safe from that because nature has its own safety mechanisms for everyone. Yes, that is why a lot of people don't go crazy just like that. Yes, so hopefully this video brought some elevation. Yes, brought some awareness, rose some awareness within people. Take care, enjoy life. Times are changing, so learn how to ride these waves that are coming because great changes are upon the world. This being said, Ferenc Jan Board signing out.